Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to Astrology with Georgie. In this video we're going to be discussing the upcoming new moon in the sign of Taurus on the 27th of April. We are going to be talking a little bit about the Mars-Pluto opposition that is currently brewing right now as well. So before we get into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you get value from this video, please give it a thumbs up and drop me a comment because that really helps the algorithm push the video to whoever needs to hear this today, and feel free to share as well. If you would like to connect with me on socials, I'm on Instagram as Georgie Ogden Astrology, TikTok Georgie Ogden 444, and I'm also now on Substack. So if you are somebody that enjoys written content, or if you just want to be added to my email list, feel free to drop your email in the comments. My Substack is also linked on the YouTube page somewhere. So come and say hi on other platforms. And I hope everyone is well. We are now officially in Taurus season, and as a Taurus sun, I'm quite happy about this. Now, collectively, the Taurus vibe is very different from Aries. And so obviously the sun right now is moving through the zodiac sign of Taurus, where she'll be for the next month. And this kind of points towards general energy, general vibes of the season. So we've had Aries season, which was all about, spring, us actually starting to wake up after a winter essentially. And as we're moving into Taurus season, it's now all about nurturing ourselves and lavishing and money, making money, spending money, slowing down in the way that Tauruses love to do. Taurus is an earth sign, so you may feel really called during Taurus season to be spending time in nature, going a bit slower. You could generally just feel a bit lazier, like everything's taking you a long time, because really you are being asked to listen to your body. Taurus is a very tactile sign, and so the best way to utilize this energy is to ask yourself what you physically need. Do you need to take a nap? Do you need to have a snack? Do you need to snuggle up in a cozy blanket? Do you need to get out in nature and go for a walk? Do you need to go and see your close friends? All of these things are associated with the sign of Taurus. And because Taurus rules money, like I said, you can feel called during Taurus season to just want to spend more money. So like lavishing yourself, self-care. You can find yourself quite literally just doing self-care routines, like focusing more on skincare, haircare, all that kind of stuff. Maybe not if you're a man so much. But it's a time when you're focusing on your resources in some way. It's like, what do I have? What does my home look like? What does my garden look like? Do I have enough money? And you're just kind of analyzing your resources after we've woken up from Aries season. So we're going to talk about the general energy of the new moon, and then we will go into all 12 zodiac signs. Please make sure that you listen to this intro if you haven't skipped already, because I am just going to be talking about the general energy, which is really important before we go into the signs. If you miss the general overview, then you're probably going to ask me questions that I probably already said in the video, guys, so make sure that you watch the intro. So the new moon itself is happening at 7 degrees of Taurus. This is in the first decan of Taurus. Now, this first decan is associated with the 5 of Earth or the 5 of Pentacles tarot card. Now, the whole sign of Taurus is associated with Pentacles. All the Earth signs are associated with Pentacles. So it is about resources and your finances. And the number 5 speaks towards feeling a little bit stuck, a little bit kind of left out in some way. And there's some sort of challenge. It kind of speaks towards some sort of challenge with your finances. It can feel that you're stuck or you're not moving forward or things are not quite going your way. However, my trusty old good tarot book does always give us a positive affirmation for each tarot card. So I'm going to read you the positive affirmation for this section of Taurus. It says, alternative forms of abundance, the illusion of lack and overlooked treasures. All is not as it seems, so this is a time to look again. A change in perception can bring into focus the results I sought, just in a different form than expected. I'm called to move away from poverty consciousness and open my eyes to treasures before me that are suddenly illuminated. The illusion of wealth gives way to true abundance. There is no need to fear that the rug will be pulled out from underneath me. What we draw attention to grows, so I count my blessings and realize I have far more than I thought. I have come far in my quest for building up what I need, and even more opportunities for experiencing abundance await. So that is obviously really just saying that you need to come away from the illusion of lack, because what we focus on does manifest, and there are always alternative forms of abundance. Even if your actual finances are going through a challenging time or slowing down, you really must switch your mindset and focus on what you do have in order for more to grow. And that's kind of what that particular card is saying to us. Now, the 7 degree is a Libra degree. So we want to think about kind of what are the connections to Libra. So Libra is all about partnership, other people, contracts, sales. So there can be an element of dealing with the other in some way, as part of the story of this new moon. Now, the new moon itself is obviously when the moon comes around, and it's the start of the lunar cycle. So we've just completed a lunar cycle and we are starting again. It's the part where we plant seeds, we plant intentions. And because this is the sign of Taurus, this is a really, really good time to set your intentions and manifestations around money. So go and do your money blockers work, go and, affirm things to do with money. Get outside. You can work with the earth on a Taurus new moon, because obviously it's an earth sign. Work with the earth. So it can be that you write your goals and, on paper that's going to dispose, bury them. You can bury your goals in the ground. You can maybe just kind of, if you're doing meditations and stuff, just get outside and be in nature and work on your money manifesting in nature, because nature is going to help you kind of fertilize those seeds of and implement those manifestations and those goals and the wishes that you have when it comes to your values, your finances, and also your self-worth. So you can set intentions around how you want to feel about yourself, how you want your confidence to grow, and all that kind of stuff. Now, the new moon is the lowest energy of the month, okay? So we are waning now. As a Cancer rising, I quite literally, if you have Cancer placements especially, and actually everyone can feel the waning of the moon. If you're feeling tired this week, it's going to be tired as we get down. We're in the final, at the moment currently, I'm recording this on the 22nd. So we are in the disseminating part of the moon, where it's coming down. It's like coming into blackness before the new moon hits. So this isn't the time of the month where we have loads of new things starting. The energy is not there. If you run your own business and clients are slowing down, just don't worry about it, because it's the end of the month. Things will pick up again on the new moon just after. So going within. New moons are all about going internal, asking yourself what's happened over the past month. Is a good time for reflecting. And obviously, being the sign of Taurus, a really, really good time to, like I said, nurture your body. This is a great time to have a pamper night, tend to all of your tactile things. Rub yourself with lotion, get in the bath, rub yourself with lotion, light some candles, watch a nice film, have all your favorite snacks. This is very, very Taurus, okay? Anything that's involving food and things that feel nice and smell nice, that's how you're going to want to spend a Taurus new moon. So you might not have a crazy amount of energy this weekend. So I am obviously in the UK. This is happening on the 27th at around, I haven't actually put the exact time, but it's happening around 6 p.m, 6:30 p.m. UK time. So obviously adjust that for your time zone. America, obviously you're behind us. This will be happening earlier in your day. If you're in Australia or time zones ahead, this will be happening probably early hours of your morning of the 28th, but you'll have to figure it out. I'm really bad with time zones. You can figure it out. So yes, the new moon, generally new moons are times where something new begins. And so when we have a new moon in a certain section of your chart, there's going to be a new beginning or the start of something. You might not see what that something is just yet, because it can take a while to unfold, but sometimes we do. And especially if you've got anything around 7 degrees, you'll feel it. So if you've got anything, especially of the fixed signs, because you'll have an opposition or a square, if it's in a sign like an earth sign or a water sign, it's going to be harmonious. So if you've got like Virgo or Capricorn or Cancer or Pisces, these are going to be harmonious with the sextiles and the trines. So actually this new moon could be something that's going to be really encouraging for you. If you're Leo, Aquarius or Scorpio, it can feel a little bit more challenging. And if you are like Sagittarius or Libra or Gemini or Aries, then you've kind of got, the quincunx with the Libra or the Sagittarius. There's some adjustments that need to be made. And Gemini or Aries, these are minor aspects, so it kind of can't really be seen by the new moon. So again, this is not as helpful, should we say, if it's happening if you have placements in Gemini or Aries. But I'll come on to talk about that. I don't want to confuse you. I'll come on to talk about that when we move through the signs. So the new moon itself, what is happening? So unfortunately, this is a bit challenging. So the moon itself is exalted in Taurus, and this is a saving grace because full moon, new moon in Taurus, the moon loves Taurus because it's ruled by Venus. Venus is feminine, the moon is feminine. They have a really strong relationship with each other, okay? And so the moon is stabilized in the sign of Taurus. So this definitely grounds us and helps us when we consider the fact that the new moon itself is in a T-square with Mars and Pluto. So that means it's squaring Mars and it is squaring Pluto. Now, a T-square is a tense aspect in which the new moon is the focal point. So if you think about just the fact that the sun and the moon are squaring Pluto, this is about power struggles or needing to be in control or feeling intense around something. Moon and sun squaring Mars, this is frustrations, wanting to put energy into something but not necessarily doing it in a healthy way. And when you've got the opposition between Mars and Pluto and it's all forming a T-square, it's like a pressure cooker. And so you have to learn to channel whatever is going on for you in a healthy way rather than exploding, because Mars opposite Pluto, and bearing in mind, you know, this is going to be the third Mars Pluto opposition that we've had. This isn't the first time. So the first one was on the 1st of November, but that was when Mars was in Cancer and Pluto was in Capricorn, so different signs, but there was a Mars Pluto opposition. If you happen to remember anything that happened, it might not have been anything major, in which case you may not remember. Then we had, when Mars was retrograding, we had the Mars retrograde opposite Pluto on the 2nd of January. So again, did you feel any tension? Did anything happen? I think for me, it was like the most minor thing. Honestly, I think it was like a bit of frustration with something going on at home, but it was something really quite minor. However, for other people, this could be a bit more major. Now, bearing in mind, if you have any placements around the early degrees of the fixed signs, you are going to be feeling this more than everyone else. Yeah, so take a look at your chart. Do you have anything around the fixed signs? And remember that things always can manifest, on a physical or on an emotional level. We never know. It can be something physical that happens. It can be something emotional or spiritual that happens. But Mars opposite Pluto is some sort of frustration, some sort of power struggle, and you're learning, like I said, how to control your urges and your impulses. Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. They are both correlated to power, initiation in some way. Pluto is obviously a very powerful, transformative planet. It wants to take control. It wants to get things moving and to transform things and to dig things up. Mars is our energy and our action and our motivation, but there are odds here. And so they're fighting for who's in charge. But squaring the new moon, it creates this, like I said, it's a bit of a pressure cooker. And the Taurus section of your chart is going to take the brunt of it in some way. But we'll come on to talk about it personally. And bearing in mind, Mars is now direct, so it's still quite slow because it's in its shadow phase, so it's covering old ground. So this could be part of the story that you've already been working through with Mars in Cancer and Leo. So whatever's been going on for you personally with Mars having been in Cancer and then in Leo, this could be part of the same story because it's the third opposition that we've had. But the Leo and the Aquarius sections of your chart and the signs as well. Remember, Leo is all about children, creativity, passion, leadership. Pluto in Aquarius is about the people, the collective. So out in the world, out in the news, you're going to see some stories coming up, maybe to do with leaders, people, children, groups of people, some tension going on there. Yes, there's definitely probably going to be stuff to do with the markets and money coming up, but you know, I don't tend to focus on mundane stuff. That's not my speciality or my passion. I like to help you guys understand what's going on for you, but just pay attention. This is already building right now, and actually, obviously, we've just lost Pope Francis, and I think that's part of this. You know, Pluto in Aquarius, this is a transformation around people that, you know, Aquarius is the sign of the collective, people that are helping transform the world in some way, and Leo is the sign of leaders. So, you know, we've just lost somebody. So that's, you know, definitely part of that story. So keep watching out for news stories as they are building this week. But try not to let this get you too concerned. I feel like I keep seeing loads of things at the moment, and it's all kind of very dramatic around Mars opposite Pluto. And yes, obviously we see things come up, but on a personal basis, try not to let this kind of make you anxious, because it's very dependent on how you work with the energies, all about you. And there are some trines that you can lean into as well, because Venus is loosely trining Mars. You know, if you want to work with Juno, we've got Juno loosely trining Mars as well, and she's the planet of fertility, and kind of what's the word I want to say for Juno? Commitment. So there's always other stuff going on that we can kind of lean into. So just remember that as well, and try not to get too bogged down in the drama fueled stuff that you see all on online. So so the new moon itself is under pressure. So this is probably speaking towards a new beginning that is not feeling easy, a new beginning that doesn't feel easy for you, a new beginning that is feeling challenging in some way. You've got to overcome something in terms of your ego, or your future self. You've got to overcome something potentially financially, or something in terms of what you value about something. And obviously I'm going to get into the signs, but Taurus is about, you know, it's about what we value. It's about what we have. It's our resources. It's our talents. It's our skills. It is our self-worth. And we are overcoming something here, or we are under pressure here from something that is building. Now, saving grace again, Venus that rules this is in her favourite sign. She's in Pisces, she's exalted. So although there's a challenge here, and there's a bit of pressure here, and there's a bit of compromise needed, or some sort of working out that needs, maybe dealing with other people in some way, Venus that rules this is in Pisces. So this is about healing. This is about having faith. This is about manifesting. This is about letting something go. Venus is conjunct Saturn still after her retrograde. She's moving forward again now, but she's conjunct Saturn and the North Node. This is about our destiny. It's a very karmic new moon, because Saturn is also the planet of karma. Saturn's with the North Node. This is about, you know, again, is it, you know, your relationship patterns? Is it your relationships patterns to do with money, your relationship towards money, unhealthy relationship towards money, or unhealthy relationship towards yourself and how you value yourself? What do you need to let go of around what's important to you, what you value, what's not serving you anymore, and what do you need to let go of? Venus in Pisces is like, yes, it sees the good in everything, and it's not very good at having boundaries, but that's why Saturn is here, because you are learning to set boundaries. And this new moon, there's some sort of new beginning here around your money or your values, or your self-worth, and you setting boundaries, and you're healing, and you're letting something go around what is no longer working for you. And this is all very karmic, because the North Node is here. We are healing, we are letting go, we are having faith. You know, especially, you know, for some people this will be relevant towards escapism tendencies. So it can be connected to, what do you do to self-sabotage? Is it drinking? Is it, you know, substances? Is it you know, staying lost in your fantasy world? Is it not addressing the reality? Is it having rose tinted glasses? Whatever you like to escape and bury your head under the sand like kind of an ostrich, Venus and Saturn is like, okay, this is where you are being encouraged to set boundaries, and the new moon is implementing a start of that. But there's all this other stuff going on, and it's like, come on, you can do it. You need to take back control. But there can be a fight with someone. There can be an element of fighting for what's right, fighting for what's right for you, fighting for your values, fighting for your money, fighting for what you possess and what you own. and setting those boundaries and healing and letting go of things that no longer are of value to you. And think of that, you can think of that outside of the physical stuff and think of it more metaphorically, symbolically, however it relates to you. But it's about your values, your purpose, your skills, your resources, and what you bring to the table, and you fighting for that in some way. Okay, I've rambled on for 20 minutes now. Thank you for listening to the intro, and we are going to go into the signs. We're going to start from Aries and we're going to finish with Pisces, because that is the natural zodiacal order. Listen for your rising sign, that would be the most accurate, but also listen for your sun and your moon as well, and piece them all together. Don't forget, I do readings, guys. If you like your own personal chart read, I do a variety of readings: astrocartography, transit readings, year ahead, client catch-ups. If you're a client of mine, you can have a catch-up for a cheaper price, deep dive, natals, all sorts of things. And one life. If you're on a lower budget and you just want to focus on one area, like if you're like, help me with my finances, help me with my relationships, help me with my career, you could just focus on one area. So yeah, it's all on my website, so go and take a look at that. And let's dive into the signs. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. So you guys are experiencing this new moon in Taurus, in the sign of Taurus, in your second house. Now, because obviously you guys have the natural zodiacal wheel, you have the double whammy of energy on house. And so this is always very free-flowing. Taurus on the second house, free-flowing energy. So this is very much a new beginning for you guys around the things I've mentioned. Something is starting with your finances here, a new beginning. Now, the ruler of this is Venus, and she's in the 12th house. So this could be very much about you letting go of limiting beliefs around your finances. It can be you letting go of karmic and unhelpful behaviors to do with your finances. You could be clearing something out that's unhealthy and that is self-sabotaging and not helpful for you to do with your finances. But there's a pressure here. There's pressure between, you know, what you like to do for fun and your friends. So it could be a new beginning around what you're spending your money on. Maybe you've realized, actually, I don't have enough money to go and hang out with my friends. I don't have enough money to do what I want to do. I'm stuck in an unhealthy pattern around my financial situation in some way. For others, this is about what you value. It's like a new beginning around, okay, what's important to me about my children and my goals? What's important to me about my relationship and my goals? But there's some tension here, and you're really deciding, and there's a new beginning around, okay, what do I actually value? You know, Mars is conflict, so there could be some conflict with a loved one, and so you're asking yourself what it is that you value. But with Venus, again, in the 12th house, it's like you're trying to heal, you're trying to let something go, or something is going on behind closed doors to do with your finances. It could be that you're spending money. You're spending money on spiritual matters. You're spending money on healing in some way. You know, whether it be that you are doing some form of spiritual healing, and that's what you're spending your money on. That's always possible for some of you. It's going to be different for everyone, but there's definitely a correlation between spiritual matters or subconscious limiting beliefs and your money and your values. But there's a tension, and only you guys will know what that tension is. And it could be that you're spending too much money. It could be that you're having to spend money on a child, or maybe you're having a child and you don't know, and you're having to work through something. Squares are all about working through, putting some effort in. Okay, and I'm going to read that card to you because that flew out. You get the Patience card. Okay. 14 major arcana. I'm going to read you a positive affirmation for the new moon for you guys. Everything in moderation. You can be a bit impulsive, Aries, so we know. This card reminds me that patience will bring me into recognition of and alignment to my purpose. All my needs are met, even though I may not see it yet in the outer visible world. The angels are looking out for me. Moderation in all things is required right now. So maybe you're just being called towards being less impulsive when it comes to spending. And it's reminding you that, yeah, like quite literally what it says, all things in moderation. So I hope the new moon goes well for you, Aries. Let me know if you know how this is manifesting for you, and I will see you in the next video. Taurus, sun, moon, rising. This new moon is all about you guys. Happy birthday, happy Taurus season. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling now that the sun is in your sign? So a new moon in your own sign. This is obviously very much about you, but this is to do with your life direction, your goals, what you're working towards. It can be your physical body. It can be any aspect to do with your life direction and who you are as a person. This is your identity, a new beginning, or something is starting, something is brewing around your identity, Taurus. The ruler of this Venus is in your 11th house. So this is about your identity and your goals for the future. Taking responsibility for how you're showing up, taking responsibility for who you are as a person, taking responsibility for your physical body, your physical health, having a reality check around, okay, this is what I look like, this is what I'm working towards, becoming more professional in some way with Venus conjunct Saturn. A new beginning, it can have something to do with a friend of yours, actually, because when we see things show up in the first house, they can correlate to any aspect of our life. And with all this energy in the 11th house, there can be something new beginning with a friend. That maybe they're going through a big change, they're going through a reality check, and that is directly impacting you in some way. Now, obviously, there's this tension between you and your home, your emotions, and your public image and your career. So it's like you want to do something, but maybe you don't know how, or there's something starting, but there's tension between somebody at home needs you, somebody at work needs you, how much time you're spending at home, how much time you're spending at work, and you are feeling like maybe you've got a lot on. Maybe you're feeling like there's pressure between home life, career life, or how you feel and what you're projecting. And actually, it could be that there's a new beginning around how people are seen, and it's like maybe what you've been portraying is not quite how you feel on the inside, and actually maybe there's this tension of what's going on inside, like I said, and what you're portraying to the outer world, to the internet, to your followers, to whoever, and that's not really what's going on. Or maybe there's some tension inside, and this new beginning is you deciding how you're going to show up. You deciding how you're going to show up, because Venus, she's exalted, it's Pisces. You want to show up in a certain way, and you are going to start showing up in a certain way, but there's something that you're working through, and the new moon is symbolizing a bit of conflict between home, career, or emotions, family, maybe parents. Something could be brewing with parents, and you're having to get serious about something, having to get serious about your goals, or there's something to do with groups and organizations that you're a part of as well, because Venus in the 11th house points towards the internet, groups, organizations, if you're a part of organizations that you work with. Now, you guys, okay, you guys get the 8 of water. Quite an emotional card. I think that's Scorpio's card. So for some of you, could be going through some sort of emotional transformation in some way, but I'll read you the positive affirmation of the 8 of water. So, journey of discovery, letting go and seeking a deeper meaning and greater authenticity beyond superficiality. Wow. Couldn't have said it better myself. All that glitters isn't gold, and I know that I always deserve authentic riches, the gold that fills me with joy, abundance, and understanding. I fiercely pause to re-examine where I have been, where I am, and where I might go. Now I consciously choose the path that is right for me instead of the one that seems likely to draw me onto it, or the one I feel I ought to walk. I am true to my heart. I've come as far as I can, and I leave by the wayside the last vestiges of illusion, the last bits of fear and shame. I will no longer hold on to what isn't right for me. I mean, that's obviously a very deep card, but it's really all about being authentic. And actually, that's what I'm getting when I see the tension between 4th and 10th. It's like what's going on behind closed doors plus versus what you're portraying. And so leading into authenticity is the message that you guys are getting under this Taurus new moon. And remember to look after and love yourself. Let me know, Taurus, how this new moon is manifesting for you, and I will see you in the next video. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You guys are going inward during Taurus season because the new moon is happening in your 12th house. This is the house of spirituality, subconscious, mental health. This is places of solitude and retreat, so places of worship, churches, prisons, hospitals. So a new beginning is starting for you here. And I feel like this is a very kind of mental, this is very mental for you guys, because there's this T-square going on in your 9th and your 3rd and your 12th. And all of these signs are connected to our mind in some way. So this can be a new beginning or something starting out for your mental health. It could be that you're feeling under this, you could be feeling under this new moon kind of mentally challenged in some way, mainly from the opposition between Mars and Pluto in your 3rd and 9th. So it's like you're overthinking, you're having all these thoughts, but you're also having to see the bigger picture, and there's a call to have faith about something. The new moon itself is like a new beginning, either for your subconscious mind, something that you're working on, or you're working on something behind the scenes to do with your career, because Venus that rules this is up in the 10th house. And this is about your career, your goals, your public reputation. So maybe you're working on something behind the scenes in order, or to do with how you're perceived by the public, to do with your professionalism, to do with you know, you're getting a reality check around your career, and maybe you're healing, or you're letting something go to do with your career. You're having a realization, or there's something beginning about your career. It could be a new beginning about your career, your status, your public image, but it's something that's going on behind the scenes and in with you. And like I said, maybe you're letting go. It could be that you're letting go of a job, you're letting go of a relationship status, and it's affecting how you feel and your thought processes at this time, and your beliefs are changing with Pluto in the 9th house. But Venus conjunct Saturn is giving you a reality check around how you're showing up. It can also be something to do with your parents, because the 10th house shows up in parents. So healing something around a parent or letting something go to do with a parent is also possible. But for you guys, this is very spiritual. So it could be a new spiritual practice for your career. It could be it could quite literally be that you're learning something spiritual. So whether it be you're learning Reiki, you're learning sound bathing, you're learning breath work techniques, you're learning some sort of spiritual healing modality. But it's not easy with the tension between Mars and Pluto in the 3rd and the 9th. There's something not easy about it, but it's related to your career. That could be the case. Or it's going to be something to do with your public image and how you're showing up in the world. You guys get the 3 of water. 3s are all about collaboration. Let me read you the positive. I haven't had that card for ages. 3 of water. Oh, there it is. So it's celebration, enjoying community, and sharing exuberance, team spirit, and common goal and friendship. So joy and excitement flow amongst all those gathered. I embrace being a part of something larger than myself. It's a time to delight in the camaraderie as I experience the greater whole. This is my community, the greater whole, that is my community or team. We buoy each other and play together as we co-create. We are friends, family, and companions, sharing our experiences. It is a time to remember that we must accept each other as we are, with both shadow and light within. So it's encouraging you to kind of collaborate and celebrate something, which is a bit weird, because I feel like the 12th house is a place of solitude, but Mars in the 3rd is about community. So I think this opposition here could be about community, but this is starting off by something that's going on behind the scenes, and maybe it's encouraging you to let something go before you move on to the celebration. So let me know, Gemini, does that make sense to you? Does that resonate with you? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. This new moon in Taurus is taking place in your 11th house of your friendships, your networks, the groups and the organizations that you're a part of. This is your house of the house of your goals, your dreams and your wishes. So something new is starting here, but unfortunately with this T-square to Mars and Pluto in your 2nd and the 8th, there's some sort of challenge here. Now this could be to do with your goals, and it could be, you know, what you value versus what another person values, because the 8th house is like our intimate partners. So it could be you opposite somebody else. So what's important to you, what's important to them, and there's this tee off around your goals. So you want to start something new, but you're not on the same page as someone else, or there's an element of you're going through some sort of transformation before you can get to your goal, or your friend is going through some sort of transformation, or your money goals for the future are under some sort of strain, financial strain with Mars opposite Pluto, or you're owed money from a friend. It can be quite financial, because the 11th house is also connected to finances. But something is starting here, and the ruler of this is Venus, and she's in your 9th house. So it's like you're having to have you're having to really trust and have faith that your goals are going to come into fruition. Even though there's this tension, even though maybe you're not seeing eye to eye with somebody, or your values are different and you're having to work through something to do with your values, you're having to have faith. For some of you, this could also be you're wanting to start something, but in terms of group work, but you need to learn first. And then you also need to pay for it. So there's an element of, I want to learn something in a group setting, but I need to pay for it first. And the thing that you're learning is very karmic because it's with Saturn in the North Node. So that's possible for some of you. Yeah, the 11th house is our friends, our allies, our vision of the future. So there's a new beginning here for you, Cancer, in terms of where you're headed, so it's either showing up in your life or in your friends' lives, and it's something to do with something that you need to learn, or having faith, or having trust, because with Saturn in the ninth, there's been some sort of crisis of faith somewhere along the line, and you're being encouraged to still cling on to that faith, that you can learn, that you can be part of that group, that you can move towards your goals, and you're just working through something between finances or values or something at this point. You guys get the 5 of water. You are water, and so you may be feeling stuck, you may be feeling emotionally challenged in some way, but let's read the positive affirmation for the 5 of water. This is about releasing grief, allowing sadness to rise and fall, forgiveness and the ebb and flow of emotion. I feel the fullness of my emotions as they wash through me. The ebb and flow are part of life, and I am present in my feelings today. I fully forgive myself and others and let go of any emotions that were holding me back from acknowledging the truth. I deserve the freedom that comes when I release what is no longer working for me. I make amends to those I may have harmed when emotions were colouring my perceptions. I surrender any resentments to the divine, knowing they can be transformed into miracles. Fearless inventories lead to liberation. Obviously, you're a Cancer, you're very emotional. This can be some sort of challenge with your friendships, by the way. I feel there can be something going on with friends. Maybe they're putting something on you, or you're putting something on them, but there's some sort of tension with your friendship groups, possibly can come up under this. But ultimately, with Venus conjunct Saturn, this is all happening for a reason, and actually maybe you're learning to set boundaries when it comes to your friends or the groups or the people that you hang around with. You're learning to set boundaries. You're learning to really ask yourself, who do I want to be friends with? That can be showing up with some of you. So let me know, Cancer, what's going on. Does this resonate for you? And I will see you in the next video. Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising. This new moon is happening for you in your 10th house, the place where you like to be seen. This is your career, your public image, your reputation, your legacy. This house is also connected to your parents. So something new is starting here. However, the ruler of this is Venus, and she's in your 8th house. So this is about transforming in some way, going through transformation, or it's about divination or magic. So it could be a new career path in terms of, maybe for some of you, it can be quite literally a new career, and it's got something to do with transformation. So it can be to do with coaching, helping other people, or it can be to do with tarot, astrology, or any topics of like psychic or divination. So a new beginning for a career, and bearing in mind this is going to unfold over the next 6 months, as full new moons always do. Yeah, a beginning for a career for you in terms of occult topics, how you're being seen. Something's brewing here, but it is in a tense aspect between Mars and Pluto. So there's an element of frustration around something to do with yourself and other people. So there's some tension between who you are, other people, having to compromise, having to work with other people. Now, if this is not career related, this could be to do with your public status. So for some of you, this could be a relationship change involving, and quite literally it could be involving, yes, you against another person. You know, you could be breaking up. That's obviously not going to be all of you, but for some of you it can be, we're getting divorced, we're breaking up, and there's this tense aspect between Mars opposite Pluto in your 1st and 7th house, and then obviously Venus that rules this is conjunct Saturn in your 8th. Some of you are going through some sort of transformative process around your reputation. For others, this is going to be career related, the legacy that you're building, and how you are, you know, seen by the public. And it's going to be career related, and it's to do with, maybe to do with, I just feel like this is more like magic stuff, and you're being called from a career point towards occult topics for some of you. But for others, this is about, you know, your status, your marriage, your divorce, and intimacy, and going through a transformation. This could also be about the loss for a very few of you. This can be some sort of loss of a parent. With the tense aspect between Mars and Pluto, that's possible, but that is going to be a very small minority of you, so please don't take that. You know, it might just be that you're watching this down the line and you realize that has correlated, and that is true. But for most of you, this is going to be how you're showing up in the world, the legacy that you're building, and some frustrations between who you are and what you're putting and what you're motivated towards, and what your partner thinks you should be doing. And then actually maybe there's some sort of conflict between what your partner thinks you should be doing, I've lost the tarot card, and what you want to be doing. Sorry, I'm still here. Queen of Fire. Well, isn't that appropriate? I knew that card jumped out for a reason. You are the Queen of Fire, Leo. You are. You guys have got this. Whatever's going on, you have got this. Let's read the positive affirmation for the Queen of Fire. Creative collaborations, soul connections, passion inspired by spirit, and the artist. I'm capable of strong friendships that inspire me and encourage me to express myself in my own way. I co-create with others, dedicated to a vision of achieving the highest good of all. You know, maybe oppositions aren't always bad. You know, maybe you're having to work and collaborate with other people in order to move forward in something. How might I join in the dance of co-creation, letting spirit flow through me and inspire me to express my passions? So you're being encouraged to just kind of put all of your passions into a desire right now. So for a lot of you, this is about your career, and actually maybe you don't know how to go for it, and it can feel intense, and it can feel, maybe you need to borrow some money in order to go for this, or you need to call on your partner's money, or you need to call on joint resources in order to be able to go for this new beginning in terms of your career. Because that could be possible for some of you, that you're having to call on money, or you'll borrow money, or share, or, you know, call on those loans or joint resources in order to go for this career with the tense aspect. But you're being encouraged by tarot and by spirit to go after your passions. So good luck, Leo. Let me know what's going on for you, and I will see you in the next video. Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising. You guys are experiencing this new moon in Taurus in your 9th house. So this is a sign that trines you. The 9th house is the house of adventure, the house of fun. This is the house of our beliefs, of higher learning, higher mind, higher education, thinking outside the box, everything that's like higher, higher, higher. This is our viewpoint of the world. This is faith, this is astrology, this is religion, this is spirituality. All of our faiths come under the 9th house. So there's a new beginning here for you, and it could be a new belief, it could be a new faith, it could be a new set of beliefs. It can be that you are traveling somewhere. Maybe you're traveling somewhere with a significant other person. Maybe you are deciding to learn something new, and you're having a reality check around that and Venus is asking you to follow a creative passion, Pisces. Maybe for some of you, maybe you're going to be following a creative passion, but you're having to take something seriously with Venus conjunct Saturn. Now for some of you, there's a new beginning or a new belief around your relationships. Or again, it's you're traveling somewhere with a partner, and this place that you're traveling, you were always meant to go to, you were destined to go to with Venus and Saturn conjunct the North Node. Could be a really beautiful place. But the tense aspect to Mars and Pluto in opposition is like, maybe you are traveling somewhere, but there's some things that need to sort out, or there's some power struggles, or you just have to work through something on this adventure that you're going on. If you are learning something new, then there's an element of things going on behind closed doors, your mental health, your physical health, and you're having to kind of push through towards it. You know, you push past health matters, push past mental health matters, and just go for it. A new teacher You could be meeting a new teacher that's going to help you grow in some way, especially if it's to do with like your health or your mental health. That's possible. Legal matters, having to address legal matters, especially things to do with a significant other person in your life, and having faith around that person in some way. And I know that sounds a bit kind of woo-woo, but I'm just thinking of a person that I know is under this new moon going to be going to a funeral of somebody that was a very close person to them. And so the ninth house is like our beliefs and having faith that person has passed on to the other side, and that's how that's showing up. So can you see it's kind of it's very kind of, this house is actually quite spiritual, the ninth house, and I don't think people realize it, but there's a lot of spiritual stuff shows up in the ninth house, and it's always like we're always having to have that kind of faith. And actually then that person would have the tense aspect between mental health, the physical world, the spiritual world. And can you see how that would correlate? So that's what I was thinking when I just said that. But some of you, it's going to be, yes, about your faith and your beliefs. Others, it's about what you're learning, what you're putting your mind into, going on an adventure and exploring somewhere. And for others, it's just going to be legal matters. So obviously it's different for everyone, but it is going to tie in a significant other person in some way. And there is going to be a point of tension. So it's not going to always feel the most comfortable new moon. Especially like, yeah, for some of you, it could just simply be that you're learning something and it's not going to be easy. Now you guys get the 9 of air. So this is kind of, yeah, a bit of a card that does speak towards your mental health, because the air cards are all about our mind. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation for the 9 of air, if I can find it. Okay, shifting negative self-talk to self-compassion, from fear to possibility, and a call to faith. How appropriate. With a gentle, mellifluous voice, I tell myself that I will be okay, that I am okay, and that any fear is merely false evidence appearing as real. I forgive myself because I know I'm a human trying the best I can and need only call on spirit to remember that I can and I will do better as new possibilities begin to gather on my horizon. I think that is so appropriate to what I just read. A call to faith. You know, getting out of your mental health stuff and focusing on, telling yourself that you are okay. I think that's so appropriate to what I just said. Let me know, Virgo, what's going on in your life right now, what things are happening. Obviously, this is going to be completely different for every single person. Let me know how you're experiencing this, and I will see you in the next video. Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. So you guys are experiencing the new moon in Taurus in your 8th house. So this is a mental place for you guys, okay? A sensitive new moon. It's the 8th house. It's a very sensitive part of your chart. This is the house associated with your mind, your mental health, your psychology. You're going deeper on your own behavior, exploring everything we can't see. This is the metaphysical. It's occult. It's astrology. It is magic. It's tarot. It's the house of the psychic. It's also a house where we can let things go and we can heal, because it's death and rebirth and transformation. Okay, so we can lose things, we can lose people in this house, but we can also lose things symbolically and metaphorically in this house. So a new beginning for you here around your healing. So what can this look like? This could look like this is also the house of joint finances, by the way, and the house of intimacy. There's a lot of things correlated with the 8th house. So for some of you, this is going to be a new beginning for you in terms of your joint finances. And this can have something to do with the work that you're doing. It can have something to do with money that is owed to you. It can have something to do with you putting, with Venus conjunct Saturn, it's like you putting boundaries around your joint finances. So paying something off that you've been working on, or money coming to you around something that you've been doing work towards, with Venus in your 6th house of work. If you've been of service to other people in some way, gaining money from it. Now, this could also be, like I said, about your mental health. So a new beginning here for your psychology, and you actually taking your health more seriously. You're taking your physical health more seriously because of your mental health. nurturing yourself with Venus conjunct Saturn in the 6th. You're realizing that you need to go through some sort of transformation, or maybe some of you actually are going through a transformation and it's having a direct impact on your physical health. Again, this can be magic, divination, astrology, starting something in one of these topics, starting tarot, and actually maybe you're doing it to be of service to others, or you're starting something that you're then going to be working on, if that makes sense. So yeah, joint finances, joint resources, intimacy, those intimate connections. There can be relevance of your intimate connections, maybe with people that you work with, or maybe something starting, and it's because Venus is in Pisces, so like you're healing something around intimate connections in some way. You're healing something, or you're seeing things in a positive light with Venus in Pisces. But with Saturn, it's like you're setting boundaries around intimate connections. Now, the T-square to Mars and Pluto is like there's some tension between your goals, your money. So if it's financial, it's like you're working something out. And for some of you, this could be financial, because the 5th house is how we take risks and what we're doing for fun. So it could be, this could be to do with investments for a lot of you, and there's some tension here, and you're having to work something out between your investments, your goals, and how much money you're putting in, and all that kind of financial stuff. If this is about like I said, this could be about intimacy with a partner and a new beginning here for you. And again, you're trying to work something out with a partner around your love life and what you guys want for the future. And the new beginning is brewing, but there's some tension around it in some way. Now, you'll have to let me know, Libra, how this is manifesting for you. Like I said, this is a sensitive house, and you can be feeling quite heavy under this new moon. That's just something to watch out for. And you guys get the 5 of Earth, which was correlated to this new moon degree point. So I read this at the beginning, but I'll read it again for you. This is about overlooking treasures that you already have. So I feel like a lot of you, this is going to be something financial. So if you're investing, there's some frustrations here. Maybe you're not getting your money back. Maybe you're having to let go of something, or you're having to take responsibility around joint finances in some way. If you have a partner, if you have kind of joint things, maybe to do with child support, all that stuff can kind of come up under this. And you're being asked to take things in a more responsible manner towards your finances. But this tarot card is saying to you, alternative forms of abundance are available to you, and the illusion of lack and overlooked treasures. So you guys are going to be the signs that you need to make sure that you are appreciating what you already have. All is not as it seems. So this is a time to look again. A change in perception can bring into focus the results I sought, just in a different form than expected. I'm called to move away from poverty consciousness and open my eyes to treasures before me that are suddenly illuminated. The illusion of wealth gives way to true abundance. There is no need to fear that the rug will be pulled out from under me. What we draw attention to grows. So I count my blessings and realize I have far more than I thought. I have come far in my quest for building up what I need, and even more opportunities for experiencing abundance await. So let me know, Libra, is this financial? Is this psychological? Is this about intimacy? Is this about magic? What's going on for you? And I will see you in the next video. Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising. This new moon in Taurus is happening in your 7th house of committed one-on-one relationships, platonic relationships, business partnerships, anyone that you have a relationship with. There's a new beginning here for you. There's the start of something, but there is also some tension. Now, the ruler of this is Venus, and she is exalted, and she is in your 5th house romance as well. So for a lot of you, this is going to be romantic. So it could be a new relationship. It could be solidifying a new relationship. It could actually be letting go of a relationship. For some of you is possible, especially with the tension between Mars in your 10th and Pluto in your 4th. This is how you feel. This is what's being seen by the public. So a new beginning for you. So yes, for some of you, it could be saying goodbye to a relationship that is no longer aligned with you. But there's some tension between how other people are seeing you and how you feel on the inside. Or there's some tension between your family and your home environment and your work environment, and it's affecting your relationships in some way. So it could be that you and your partner are having to work out some stuff around how much you're at work, how much time you spend together, how much fun you're having together because of the amount that you work or because of things going on at home. Venus conjunct Saturn is setting boundaries within relationships. So it could just be a new beginning for you within your current relationship around setting boundaries. And this could have something to do with a family member. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Setting boundaries with a family member, setting boundaries with a romantic partner, setting boundaries with a best friend, or even setting boundaries with somebody at work is relevant for this. Somebody that you work with, somebody that you do business with, you're having to set boundaries. Or maybe you're being encouraged to, or maybe you're being encouraged to take note of your repeated relationship patterns that are no longer serving you, Scorpio. Pisces is about letting go and healing things. For some of you, it could be a new contract, a new business contract, a new business partnership, definitely. I can see that happening to do with career. And actually this is, you know, it's a very karmic new moon. So this is meant to be happening. It's destined. But you guys get the 6 of air. This is about your mental health and how you look at things and your perspective of things. But I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. Because 6s are about moving on. So rite of passage, a necessary change in thinking to gain greater wisdom. However turbulent the waters at the moment, I trust that if I create calm within, my outer conditions will soon be calm too. I'm conditioned to expect troubles ahead. Yes, you are, Scorpio. But I have shifted my awareness, and I know that I can choose to believe that stepping into the unknown will bring me to what I truly desire. I'm in a transition to something better. So this is, again, it's about manifesting, changing your perception of things, changing your mind, shifting your mindset to manifest that all that you desire within your relationships. Try and get out of those patterns that keep repeating, because like we say, what you focus on grows. And so Scorpio, you need to try and shift your patterns that you keep repeating in order to move forward with those romantic relationships. Okay, and this could also have something to do with the child, because Venus is in the 5th house, so it could be a relationship with a child. But whatever that relationship is, there's going to be a new beginning here for you, but you're being asked to set those boundaries. Okay, so good luck. Let me know what's happening, how this is manifesting for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising, you guys are experiencing this new moon in the sign of Taurus in your 6th house. This is a new beginning for your health, your routines, or your daily work in some way. So let's take a look at this. So a new moon in the 6th house, it can be anything to do with, it could be a new job. It could be a new job working from home with Venus that rules this in the 4th. It could be a new routine for you. It could be how you're showing up within your home, or what you're doing behind closed doors in terms of your daily routines. There's a new beginning here for you. It could be a new beginning for a pet, a new beginning for quite literally your physical health. And with how you feel towards your physical health, your emotional well-being could be showing up here. And maybe your emotional well-being is affecting your physical health in some way. Now, the tension between Mars in your 9th and Pluto in your 3rd is about how you think. This is your mental axis. This is what you're learning. So for some of you, it's maybe you're starting a new job and you're having to learn something, and it can feel a bit overwhelming. Maybe some of you are, there's a new, you're starting a new health workout and you're feeling a bit frustrated around, and actually you can channel this square to Mars into this, but you're feeling a bit frustrated around what to do or how to proceed, or your attitudes towards it. It could be a new beginning in terms of you being of service to other people in the community. Out in the community, possible if you work online, a new beginning in terms of your work and because the 6th house is quite literally what we're doing day to day, and it can be a lot of physical labor in the 6th house. It's like, right, I need to get up, I need to reply to my emails, I need to send out however many messages, I need to post on this, that and the other, if, for example, if you run your own business. And so there's tension here between what you need to do, your thoughts, and getting that thing in order. But Venus that rules this is conjunct Saturn, so you're being asked to become responsible for your work, become responsible for your routines, become responsible for your health, or you're setting boundaries for these things. So you are setting boundaries around your health. You are setting boundaries around your physical day and what you need to get done. You're setting boundaries for yourself in order for you to feel, fourth house, better about the work that you're doing, or about your health matters, or about pets. Something, pets can come up in the sixth house as well. But for a lot of you, this is going to be about what you're doing on a day-to-day and your physical health, and how your mental health or your thoughts or what you're doing is affecting your physical health, and your emotions are involved, and you're being asked to maybe your routines are involving clearing out family matters. Maybe your routines are involving clearing out the home, or having to deal with family matters as part of your routine at the moment, and it's feeling a bit tense with this Mars opposite Pluto kind of stuff. So we're going to pull a card for you guys. Get the Ten of wow, that's very positive. Abundance is coming to you. Don't you worry, guys. Whatever efforts you're putting in now, bearing in mind this is the Taurus. This is Taurus we're talking about. This is a money sign. Set your affirmations around money, because everything is coming in good. Everything is coming good to you, according to this card. Anyway, affluence, material abundance, mastery, financial security, inherited wealth, knowledge. I'm now able to step back and observe the results of what I built through my dedication and hard work. I claim ownership of the castles I built that have taken form in the material world, and I have achieved mastery and inherited treasures of knowledge and experience. Thanks to all I have been through, I smile appreciatively at my run of good fortune. Excellent. That's a great card. One other thing I want to mention is that your routines at the moment could also be involving matters to do with paperwork. So for some of you, there's like paperwork, legal matters, and so your day-to-day projects and your day-to-day routines are involving stuff to do with legal matters and the home. And I've just suddenly had that come to me. But this card, Ten of Earth, is encouraging that you are abundant, you are financially secure. So take that, Sagittarius. Let me know how this resonates for you. Let me know what's going on, and I'll see you in the next video. Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising, you guys are experiencing this new moon in Taurus in your fifth house. This is a new beginning for you in terms of your children, your creativity, your passions, what you do for fun, your hobbies. This is your business and also your love life. So a new beginning, for some of you, this could be romantic. It can be something starting in terms of romance. And with Venus ruling this in the second house, it can correlate to in the third house, it can correlate to communication. And you having to communicate, you having to have effective communication, and you having to set boundaries and become responsible for your communication within your partnership. Are you and your partner communicating properly? Because there's some tension here between what you value, intimacy, and how you're communicating. You're going to be communicating compassionately with Venus in Pisces, but you're being called towards having those difficult conversations. Saturn is here, is giving you a reality check. What are we talking about? What are we communicating around? And this can have something to do with community matters as well, or mental health. Things to do with the neighborhood, and a partner can also show up. But there's an element for some of you, if this is romantic, there's a point of tension here, and it can all be relieved through effective communication and setting boundaries, discussing things. Communication is key and all that. Now, for some of you, this is going to be a new beginning to do with a child or your children, and there's some tension brewing here, maybe around finances. It could be that you're having to sort out paperwork, you're having to sort out schools, you're having to sort out journeys and routines for a child, and there's some tension around that in some way, what you value, what's important, about their psychology, about their resources, and for some of you so it's a new beginning for a child and their schooling. For others, this could be about your passion projects. If you run your own business, or if you're working on a project at work, there's a new beginning here for this project to do with writing, communication, social media, and there's some tension going on here again between what you value, what other people value. So it could be that you're working on something probably writing or learning something, but there's a point of tension, and you're having to work through something and you're finding it a bit more challenging than perhaps you usually would. But with Venus exalted conjunct Saturn, you are being very creative, you are feeling very creative, and you're just having to make sure that you are spending time, Saturn, on it, in order to get it correct. For, you know, if you run your own business, that would be relevant. The fifth house is also our hobbies. You know, maybe you're starting a new hobby within the community, or doing something for fun involving friendships or involving connection. But there's some tension here. You're not quite sure where to put your energy, or you're having a bit of a power struggle in terms of sorting something out, and it could have something to do with, you know, the nitty-gritty details of something. But the ultimate point of it is that you're starting something new in terms of creation, in terms of passion projects, in terms of romance, and there's some things that need working on. But you guys get the Queen of Fire, same as Leo. So you're being encouraged to get creative, to do your passion projects. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. This is a positive card. So get out there and have fun, guys. Have fun. Queen of Fire, creative collaborations, soul connections, passion inspired by spirit and the artist. This is the house of the artist, actually. I'm capable of strong friendships that inspire me and encourage me to express myself in my own way. I co-create with others dedicated to a vision of achieving the highest good of all. How might I join in the dance of co-creation, letting spirit flow through me and inspire me to express my passions? So get out there, guys, collaborate, get your passions flowing, and sort out those romance issues if you have any as well. Especially because, like, Pluto in the second, Mars in the eighth, this is like what I value, versus what another person values. So that could definitely correlate between like your romantic partner and what's important to you and what's important to them. Anyway, I am rambling. Let me know, guys, how this is manifesting for you, what's going on under this new moon. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next video. Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Rising, you are experiencing this new moon in Taurus in your fourth house. This is a very sensitive part of your chart, a very private part of your chart, and this is everything that happens behind closed doors, and on an inward level. This is your emotion. So this can be quite an emotional and just kind of an energy, a low energy, especially for you guys, low energy point of the month. New beginning within the home. Now, for some of you, it can be that you're spending money on something within the home. You're spending money, but there's a point of tension between you and a partner. So it could be that you're spending money on stuff and they don't want you to, or they want to spend money on stuff and you don't want to. So you're having to compromise and have important conversations around what you value, what you want to spend the money on. Venus conjunct Saturn is asking you to actually release unhealthy spending habits. So just make sure that you're not just spend. I want to do this, I want to do this in the home environment. Because you're being called towards just letting go of unhealthy spending habits. But for some of you, you know, it can be positive. It can be that you are, you know, you're renovating and you're sorting out and you're being creative and you're sorting out, okay, well, I want to decorate this room and I want to put my creative spin on it. You guys are one of the most creative signs, in my opinion. And with Venus in Pisces, you can get really, really creative around what you want to spend your finances on. But having Pisces on the second house of money, you can just have a tendency to, your money just floats away and you don't really know what you spent it on. And that could be where the tension with you and another person's coming in. Now, at the same time, it can be, if it's not about, you know, spending money in the home, it can be about a family member, you know, having something to do with a family member and their finances, or maybe you're having to lend somebody some money and there's some tension around it. Lend a family member some money, or maybe what you value within the home. You're thinking about what you value to do with your family, your heritage, your ancestry. There's a new beginning here for your ancestry. This is the house connected to the past. So maybe you're having a clear out of your possessions. Maybe you're sorting through old photos. Maybe you're I can definitely see that happening for some of you, because the second house is our possessions and the fourth house is like old photos, it's things in the loft, and Venus conjunct Saturn is like we're looking through old things and we're having a calm and clear out of things that no longer are needed in the home. And the tension is like, well, I don't want to throw this away, but and the other person in your life is like, but I do, and you're having to compromise, and that can be as far as it goes. So it's going to be related to your home, family, what you value about family. So it could also be a new beginning for a family member. And a family member is going through something that can be quite intense at the moment, and a new beginning for them. With Venus conjunct Saturn, somebody can be going through a bit of a serious time because everything that's going on at the moment is karmic. So a family member can be going through something. Oh, my microphone's falling over. Something challenging. And there's some tension maybe between you and a family member because of the change that they're going through. Now, you guys get the 6th of Earth. This is a resources card, a financial card. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. This is quite a positive card. Unexpected resources, happy surprises and generosity. What I have sent forth in love comes back to me many times over. As the generosity of others becomes apparent and unexpected resources show up. The universe is exhibiting its generosity, reminding me that the world is full of pleasant surprises. Inside the pretty package is tangible aid, a gift from spirit. Just when I was beginning to doubt, I'm reminded of the treasures I am entitled to receive that show up at my door. What will I unwrap today? So that's really positive, guys. So maybe you're coming into some money from a family member. Maybe you're coming into some money to be able to spend on the home. So let me know how this is manifesting for you, please. And I will see you in the next video. Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising. So you guys are experiencing this new moon in Taurus in your 3rd house. This is the house of communication, the house of connection. This is siblings. This is relatives, community, transportation. This is your car. This is the bus. This is the train. This is how you get around day to day. Short distance trips. So there's something starting here. There's a new beginning here for you, or something happening, guys, under this new moon to do with maybe your siblings, maybe your relatives. Maybe you're meeting up with siblings and relatives, but there's tension here. And with Venus that rules us in your 1st house, is directly correlated to something that you're going through and something that you are maybe some hardships with Venus conjunct Saturn and the North Node in your 1st house. Maybe you have been healing, you've been dealing with something hard, and this beginning is you are communicating with a sibling, communicating with relatives, and there's tension here between your mental health, the physical world, and this connection. That all sounds a bit cryptic, but it's like, for example, if you had a funeral to go to, this could show up in your 3rd house because you're connecting with relatives. Venus is conjunct Saturn in the 1st, so you're healing something about something directly connected to maybe a father figure or an aspect of your life that you're becoming responsible around, or you're having to mature and deal with some sort of hardship. With Pluto in the 12th, it's been about loss, it's been about mental health, and there's a tension between looking after yourself physically and looking after yourself mentally. Maybe there's a new beginning here for you around communication, and you're having to communicate to help your mental health, help your physical health, because you're taking responsibility around something in your life. 3rd house, I just feel it's deeper because of the connection to Venus and Saturn, the North Node. I feel this new moon, there's something deeper going on here than just me saying, oh, you're going to be traveling somewhere local. Yes, under this new moon, there can be a trip coming up, definitely. And it can be a trip that's karmic and healing, definitely. But I feel like there's something deeper here around your mental health, how you think, how you perceive, and actually nurturing your mental health. And Pisces, you guys are so sensitive. You're being encouraged to really nurture your mental health under this new moon. Okay, because with Saturn in the 1st, what's happened for you? What's happened to you since 2023? What's been going on? Now that Saturn is conjunct the North Node, you're really being called towards discipline. You're being called towards giving yourself time. You're being called towards growing. But Saturn in the 1st is not always easy. And so there's probably been some challenges with this for you. And I just feel like this new moon in your 3rd house of the mind, in this tense aspect, is asking you to focus on your mental health, and talking and communicating and connecting with siblings is going to be really, really healing for that. So something could be happening where you're having to meet up with people. Maybe you've got an appointment with a doctor, maybe you've got an appointment with a clinician or someone that's going to help you, or there could be something going on in your local community that is going to help you mentally. Now, for some of you, it could be that you're learning and studying something. That actually could be possible. Could be that you're learning, you're studying something, anything connected to the mind, where it's you're communicating, you're connecting, or you're learning. But that is all involved in you healing something around yourself. You guys get the 6th of air. We've had a couple of repeated cards today, which is interesting. It's almost like they're really trying to get through, you know. They're really trying to send their message through to you. So 6th of air. I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. It is about changing perspective. Yeah. So, rite of passage, a necessary change in thinking to gain greater wisdom. However turbulent the waters at the moment, I trust that if I create calm within, my outer conditions will soon be calm too. I am conditioned to expect troubles ahead. But I have shifted my awareness, and I know that I can choose to believe that stepping into the unknown will bring me to what I truly desire. I'm in a transition to something better. So whatever's going on for you guys mentally, whatever it is, just know that things are coming good, and you know, a shift in perspective is always helpful. So you are being called to heal something, whether it's coming from learning, whether it's coming from communication. You're healing something around your mental thought processes. So let me know, Pisces, before I continue rambling on, how is this showing up for you? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, guys, if you got some value from this, please give it a thumbs up or a comment or a share, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content from me. I am Georgie, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.